Hi, I'm Lisa Sim for Sim Minerals, and you're watching WatchMojo.com. And today we have Jen as our lovely model, who's going to be Marilyn Monroe. You know, she really is like a main staple icon of glamorous makeup looks. So let's just start with the foundation. Back in the day, it was like hardcore pancake, full-on foundation. We're going to go more modern approach. We're going to start with a mineral foundation, Sim Minerals in Cool Beige. We're gonna go with a lighter foundation. Back in the time when they were doing a lot of black and white photography and everything, you always wanted to go with a lighter complexion. So I'm just doing small circles, and I'm going everywhere, going onto the lid, inner corner, under eye, all in the same time, even across the lips as well. That creates a great base for the lipstick at the end. What Marilyn always had done is a base shade, something that's a little bit off-white, something that has a little bit of sheen to it. I'm just gonna start with Candlelight. We're gonna use a large squirrel fluff brush. Everything was very matte at that time. Inner corner all the way across the lid, from lash line all the way up into the brow bone. Really wanna have that color as concentrated as possible on the lower lid, because afterwards what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna take a good old chisel double angle brush with a light taupe color. This one's called Flax. They were using taupes and browns at that time, so it's not really to like see color on the lid, but just to define the shape of the crease. And just do a little half moon action, finishing towards the middle, tapering it off. You don't really wanna drag that color too far inwards. And then just blend up and out. So the next thing is gonna be the eyebrows. We're gonna stay again with the light taupe shade for the brows. We're gonna use it with a small angle brush. Marilyn had beautiful full eyebrows, so it was just fill in with light feathery strokes. Brush that through. So opposed to contrary belief that Marilyn Monroe had like liquid eyeliner, black liquid liner, like doing that doe eye effect, she was really just doing it more with like pencils and shadow, and not really black, but more like a brown. It was across the entire lash line and then just extending a little bit past the eye. Her whole thing was about having that real doe-eyed look. So the way that it was achieved was actually by going with a wider line in the center of the eye, in the middle, versus going wide at the outer corners. I'll go back over that with a dark brown pencil. It's always very thin, wider in the middle. We're gonna go back over now, same angle brush, and just seal it in, and it will repair any little gaps or skips that are in the pencil. After they've done that liner, one little trick that they had was taking a little bit of a gold shadow or pencil, very, very light, and just placing that above the brown line. So I have this one, it's called Spun Gold. It's a very light white gold. So this should just go on so minimally. I'm just tapping it on, actually. They actually used a little bit of off-white, white, something, again, that's a little bit shimmery, and they're applying this to the middle of the lid as a highlighter underneath the arch of the brow, and apply that to the middle of the lower lid. Whatever is left over, just use that underneath the arch of the brow. If anything's fallen, you can always take a little bit of loose powder and place that underneath the eye to catch any residue that's coming off. Okay, this is probably some kind of medieval torture device, but I think it was like really popular at that time. So we're gonna use the lash curler. Go as close to the lash line as possible and do the base, the middle, and the tips. And having that little extra curl will be good for when you're integrating it into the fake lashes that Marilyn wore. So what I'm gonna do is just take a little bit of lash glue. We have our false eyelashes. Take a little bit of glue and just run that along the edge of the lashes. Kind of let it air out a little bit, just so it gets a little sticky, a little tacky. Sometimes what you can do is just give it a little bend as well. Don't close completely, and get as close to the natural lash line as possible. After that, it was really about highlights and contouring on the face itself. Contouring is going to be done with a bronzer. It's one that I always use. It's one of my favorites, the one from Arbonne. So her makeup artist always did the temples, underneath the cheekbone, and just underneath her jaw as well. Because Marilyn wasn't a wafy girl. She was a full-figured girl, so she had some curves going on. So this was a way of creating some separation so that she had a nice pronounced jaw and chin line. Once you've done the contouring, now we can go with the highlighting, and that's gonna be done with glow. And you can always take a smaller shadow brush again, so the same one that I used for the base shade on the lid. And that's really just going through the tops of the cheekbone. I'll take whatever bit of brown and taupe. So the same way that we did a thicker, wider line in the middle on top, we're just gonna be accentuating the center as well so it does a more rounded eye. After that, it's mascara, top and bottoms. The other thing that we'd do to make the eye look brighter is take a little bit of red pencil and just doing this red dot, and we'll just blend this out afterwards. Small brush. Apparently that makes the eyes look brighter. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing that every day, but this is just one of the many things that they did to Marilyn's face. So when it came to Marilyn's famous red lips, they often went much lighter around the contour. I'm just gonna take a little bit of Barely There. It's like the lightest of the foundation shades, and just run that along the top of the lip. And that way you could actually exaggerate the natural contour of the lip. She always worked with red pencils, red lipstick, red gloss. Sometimes there's Vaseline in the center of the lip to like make it look really voluminous. And picking something that's real blue-red would be ideal. And fill in the corners. And we'll leave the center. That way we can actually create different heights to the lip. What we can do now is go in with a blue-red lipstick. It's called Runway Red. And then on top of that, I'll actually use a little bit of a red gloss right in the center of the lip. So there you have it. How to look like Marilyn Monroe with the bedroom eyes, the doe eyes. Always remember, like the quintessential thing is just going wider in the center of the eye, definitely false eyelashes, the red lipstick, hands down. This is gonna be a look that is gonna be killer. So what do you think, Jen? How do you feel?
Yeah, very glamorous, very fun.
Super glamazon going on. So we're here at Très Chic Styling, one of my favorite places for dresses. We have a selection back here so that you can really complete the whole Marilyn Monroe look. Should we go try?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome.